So it feels like so many of these videos I've been making this past week have just been about quarterbacks, just simply because I think there's so much interesting quarterback play that happened week 3, so that's kind of why I've been talking a lot about quarterback. But one of those guys I was keeping a closer eye on going into week 3 was someone who played in week 2, and that was Mason Rudolph. He got his first NFL playing time in week 2, but this is going to be his first NFL start, and well, it was a game of ups and downs, and so let's just get into it, and we'll start off with some of the negatives and then get on to some of the positives. Like on this play, it's going to be a cover 1 linebacker blitz, and he has a receiver running a slant route right there in the bottom half of the screen, so this is kind of one of those plays that should almost always go for positive yards at this point. This is a great route against this type of coverage, and even as you see, once the ball is snapped, he is going to get pretty easily open. However, a couple of things are going to go wrong here. First, it's not a perfectly accurate throw. It's going to be too close to the middle of the field, but also his receiver didn't really do him too many favors on that one. He dropped it, but at the same time, if he makes that catch, he's going to get absolutely laid out by a 49er who is right in front of him just because the throw was too far to the middle of the field. But honestly, at this point, they've pretty much taken the defenseless receiver getting just absolutely whacked, taken out of the game, because that's now an illegal play. So I think you got to go there and make the catch, but at the same time, Rudolph could have made a better throw on that one. So there's a lot to talk about there, but just in terms of Mason Rudolph, he could have made a more accurate throw on that one, and that cost him some yards. If he sort of hit him in the chest right there, he doesn't have to reach out. He isn't afraid of taking a big hit because he can just make the catch and then look to brace himself, and potentially he picks up a solid gain on that one. So not a disaster by any means by Rudolph, but it could have been a little bit better. He also had a couple of bad plays with pocket presence, which is something that can be expected with guys, making their first or second NFL start. I mean, we even saw Patrick Mahomes have problems with this last year, although he totally made up for it with everything else he did so well. But like on this play, for example, what's going to happen is that the right guard's going to pull over to the left side of the screen, and it's also going to be a play action to the left side of the screen. So you do that, but then the idea is, okay, well now you only have 2 offensive linemen essentially on the right side of the screen. You're going to have your center move over there, and then it'll just be your right tackle, obviously. But the advantage is that it could help sell the play action, and now you have 3 guys on the left side of the screen, so it's not really a disaster, but that's the mindset, essentially. However, one thing that's going to happen right when this ball is snapped is you're going to notice that the 49er edge rusher right over there, he's totally giving up containment here to try to get to Rudolph. Rudolph can now run in between his center and right tackle and potentially, get outside the pocket and have all day to make a throw, or potentially even run and try to get a touchdown. That's an option he has on the table. I'm not saying that's what he has to do. He can decide to try to make a throw or something. But if you are going to run, now is the time where you have to run. However, he's going to wait just a split second more and then try to run in that direction, and that really doesn't work out too well. It was kind of just a poor timing play by Rudolph. He waited too long. He had to realize at this point, either now I can run or I won't be able to run at all. He kind of just waited too long and ended up still only gaining about a yard or so. He could have gained a lot more had he left earlier. So, I don't blame him if he wanted to stay in the pocket because he saw a route that he thought was going to get open, but he didn't see a route that he thought was going to get open. He was just looking for a route that could get open, but then at that point, there was no route that was open. He should have taken off, but he just took an extra second, and that's why he didn't get as many yards as he potentially could have. There's also this play where it's going to be a cover 3 zone, and Rudolph's first read is going to be his receiver in the middle of the field right there, simply just running into a gap in coverage. Hopefully it'll get open. That's the way this play is designed to work. However, after the ball is snapped, one thing you are going to notice is that he's not open at all. I mean, he's cutting right now, but there are 2 49ers right in front of him. No way Rudolph could get this ball to him unless he had a Jerome that he could drop it from and have him catch it, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't. But also worth noting is that this time he actually does realize that he can get outside the pocket. There is going to be a right tackle who's pushing the edge rusher away from Rudolph, so therefore Rudolph can simply just run outside the pocket and he'll have more time to make a throw, and that is what he's going to do. He gets outside the pocket. There is another 49er chasing him, but he's outside the pocket here, so he has a second to make a throw here or just throw the ball away. Either one is an okay option. Just to set the situation, it is a 2nd down and 15, so obviously, ideally, you would like to gain some yards to create an easier 3rd down, but it's not the end of the world if you don't get it. It just probably means that you're not going to be getting a 1st down here. Which, of course, isn't ideal, but then again, the way the 49ers were turning over the ball that game, it's almost not that bad of a situation. Maybe you'll get the ball in good field position if you punt it. So, you would like to gain some yards here. It's not a disaster if you don't gain some yards here. But for Rudolph, he sees that he has a receiver open. I mean, right over there, his receiver is clearly open with the assigned man who's in charge of covering him. Except there's going to be one problem, and it's going to be that 49er right there who is currently in between the receiver that he wants to hit. I don't know if Rudolph just thought he could still make this throw, or if he just didn't see the 49er who was in front of him. My guess is the latter, but he is going to make a throw in that direction and it gets picked off. Definitely regrettable decision by Rudolph. But again, both of those last two mistakes I've shown, those are rookie mistakes, definitely. I mean, that's something you kind of expect when you have, and I know he's not a rookie, but it's his first year starter, and that's kind of something you expect from a first year starter to make those types of mistakes. Honestly, it's kind of something you expect from any quarterback whose age starts with a 2. I mean, that's just kind of what happens sometimes. You're going to try to do too much, and you got to learn that that's not what you have to do. Rudolph made that mistake there. I'm not going to beat him up too much for it, but it is something that he did do that was a mistake, in my opinion. So okay, enough negatives, let's get on to some positives, because there were some positive plays as well. Like on this one, it's going to be a 3rd down and 4, so that's where the first down marker is. And it's man coverage here. It's a cover 2 man, which is actually a bit of a curious play call, because you know it's going to be a short pass somewhere. So for San Francisco, I'm not really sure why they're trying to take away anything deep, but that's the play call they're going with here, and take a look at what happens right when this ball is snapped. Rudolph has options here. One thing you could do is simply just hit that receiver right there at the top half of the screen, as he is open, and that could gain the 4 yards that you need to gain. But he has another option. If you look in between his center and right guard, there clearly is space that Rudolph could potentially run through and try to gain the first down this way. You don't need a ton of yards here, you only need 4. It's a crucial 3rd down situation, and so Rudolph is going to say, you know what, it might take a hit, but I'm going to do this, I'm going to gain the first down for our team. It's what he does, he runs up, and he does in fact get the first down, so you never love to see your starting quarterback take a hit, but at the same time, sometimes you gotta take a hit to get a first down, and that is what you love just as a fan of a guy who is playing for your team. It's a guy who is willing to take a hit to gain a first down. Sure, he could have thrown it, but you know, things can go wrong when you throw it. It can result in a bad pass, it can result in just a drop. I mean, just think about it from a baseball perspective. If you have a chance to run over and just touch the bag instead of throwing it to your teammate who's on the bag, that's what you're supposed to do. Well, in football, if you have a chance to run for the first down, it's a better percentage if you do run for the first down. Of course, that's under the assumption that you can in fact get the first down. You don't love to see him take the hit, so honestly, I would have understood the decision either way, but at least as a fan of Rudolph, it kind of gives you some hope that, okay, this guy at least has heart if nothing else. And it lets you know that he is pretty smart, and he did have the awareness to know, okay, I can run and get the first down here. So it was promising for a couple of reasons. There was also this play where it's going to be a cover 1 linebacker blitz for San Francisco, and for Pittsburgh, what they're going to do is have Juju Smith-Schuster run that route right there, which is a great route to run against this type of coverage. So if you're Rudolph, and you have your number 1 receiver running a great route against a certain kind of coverage, well, there's no decision. You make sure that you're at least looking in that direction, and that's your first read. That's where you want to throw this ball to. But after this ball is snapped, Smith-Schuster, he's not quite as open as maybe he could be. He's a little open, there is a window there, but it's not quite as good as you maybe would have liked. This can be a big play if Rudolph can hit his spot, but he's going to have to hit his spot. He's going to have to get the ball to Smith-Schuster, but that's going to be exactly what he does, and he even hits him in stride, and then Juju takes care of the rest. He's going to run all the way for a touchdown. There was also this one where it's going to be press coverage on the bottom half of the screen, and for Pittsburgh, they have Deontay Johnson just running a go route, just get deep, see if you can get open, and for Rudolph, I mean, he's going to say, hey, I like Deontay Johnson in this type of coverage. I like him going up against press coverage, running a go route, so let's take a chance and see if we can maybe get some points on the board. It's a 1st down and 10, so it's totally an okay time to take a chance, and so that is what he's going to do. And especially because right when you see after this ball is snapped, I mean, Johnson is just going to get wide open here. Okay, well, it might actually be kind of hard to see because the shadow makes things difficult, but I've circled both of them. Johnson is in the yellow circle, so he is open here, trust me. And so Rudolph is going to say, you know what? Let's take a shot and look at this throw. I mean, it's just a perfect throw, and it results in a touchdown. Granted, if you're an NFL quarterback, you probably should be making that throw, but it still was a good throw, so I give him some credit for that one. So he definitely made some good plays, but there also were some bad plays. So, you know, it was a night of ups and downs. But even with all of the ups and downs, all of the missed throws, and all of the perfect throws, Rudolph still found himself in a position to win it. Down 4 with a minute left in a 3rd down and 3 situation, and here was the play. The reason I'm showing this play is because I do believe this was the key play of the drive, where it's going to be a cover 1 robber, and Pittsburgh has a receiver running that route right there. So it's a route that won't be open forever, but it will be open for a period of time. So Rudolph does have a chance to potentially hit his man at a certain point, but he's going to have to throw this one at a perfect time. And after the ball is snapped, as you notice, his guy is open, and he's even looking in that direction. He can make this throw right now, but he's just going to kind of hesitate. He doesn't make this throw exactly when he should, so then he's going to try to run outside the pocket, and at that point, it's just a mistake. He ends up getting sacked and even loses the football, although Pittsburgh did recover. It was just a bad hesitation by Rudolph. He had a man open, and he was looking in that direction. He just has to make that throw. He didn't, and that was the problem. In fairness, he did learn from his mistake on the 4th down play. He did actually throw it at the perfect time on the 4th down play, but he just missed the throw. But that's kind of why you can't just hesitate on the 3rd down play, because you do have to just make that throw. Hopefully things will work out, so that way you get 2 chances. Not to beat him up too much, it's his first career start. He made some mistakes you expect a guy making their first career start to make. But at the same time, there were a couple throws there you would have liked to see him make. But then again, there were a couple throws there where you were like, wow, I can't believe he made that. So you take the good with the bad, especially when talking about a young quarterback in Mason Rudolph. So yeah, that's what I thought of Mason Rudolph's performance in his first NFL start. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you guys. And as always, thanks for watching.